Realm of the Mist show that you are currently tuned into will begin in about 5 minutes. Until then, enjoy this wonderful tune.
Why does a good man have to die? Another piece of shit to be born. Reasons unheard of tearing my flesh. My heart is ripped, my soul is torn.
You are listening to It Had to Be Said with Venus, presented by Realm of the Mist Entertainment.
It's men. I've no more fucks to give. My fucks have runneth dry. I've tried to go fuck shopping, but
Go ahead.
We on?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm terrible for that. It's another It Had to Be Said with Venus and Christopher Stoll. And we have a guest speaker tonight, Sporatiq.
Hello.
There he is.
He is going to join us tonight as we talk about internet safety for parents, shitty people with shitty behavior, and what it takes to be a real woman. And before anyone has any sexist remarks about this, I've invited multiple women to join us for this conversation, but no women wanted to join. So I also had a few transgender.
But they didn't have the balls.
Wow.
Jesus. How fitting. If this is a little one-sided, women, sorry to tell you, but this was your choice when you get invitations to speak up and you choose to not speak up. That's your choice. So that's how the show is going to go tonight. If any women want to come and join us on the show, send me a message on Skype, Venus Uncensored, and we'll add you to the show, no problem.
Same goes to anybody that may be on Facebook. You can hit me up at Christopher Stolley. Let me know your Skype name, and I can add you into the call if you want to speak. I will say this much: I did make a little derogatory joke in the beginning, and I don't care. But the fact of the matter is that this is going to be a discussion. It is not meant to bash anybody or their belief system. So try to take this with a grain of salt. Don't get too offended. But trigger warning, you probably will.
It's for entertainment purposes.
And education.
Exactly. So let's get right into the education, boys and girls. Sporatiq is a 15-year-old male who's going to highlight on internet safety for parents. Because we've had this Momo challenge and stuff going around with little kids being exposed to Momo via YouTube videos, on YouTube Kids and whatnot. So anything you want to say on that, Sporatiq?
Yeah, about the Momo thing. What I've heard is it's been going on YouTube Kids, which is a website made for kids solely, which involves this normal-looking kids video. It could be kids' toy opening video, Spider-Man and Elsa video, like those kind of videos. And all of a sudden, it will enter like this creepy-looking face or statuette saying things for kids to hurt themselves with certain objects or anything. Now, I don't think that kids should be on YouTube at all because there are certain videos that can go through their filter system, certain themes and dark things, as well as the Momo. But for anyone above the age of 10 years old, I don't think that would be such an issue because any 10-year-old is not dumb enough to go find the nearest kitchen knife and stab it into themselves. That's the thing I think about Momo. And the news started freaking out about it recently because I don't know, some 40-year-old Karen saw it and thought, "Oh my goodness, these kids are in danger."
Well, the big thing about this story, if I'm not mistaken, is it was disproven that Momo was not showing up in these videos. This was a hoax. Like apparently there was a Momo thing that happened like 7 years ago. But this resurgence of it was this current resurgence was a hoax. It was a prank. People resurrecting it, saying, "Look, see, I called it. It's right here," making those types of videos. That it didn't actually show up in the YouTube Kids. However, whether it's real or a hoax, it did raise the question of internet safety and parents being parents and monitoring what your kids are exposed to on the net.
Exactly. The Momo, there was a Momo challenge 7 months ago, which 2 teenagers ended up killing themselves over. But it wasn't just found on YouTube. The ones I see on YouTube now, they're multiple different looking Momos. They're multiple different creators as far as I'm concerned. Like they're totally different in production. They're totally different in visuals. They're
Total what? You broke up.
Yeah.
We lost her a moment. While we're waiting for her audio to come back, I will let you guys know we're talking. Even though there's multiple different Momos, we're not talking about Ocasio-Cortez. I know she looks like Momo, but that's not what we're talking about. That's not the Momo. You may still want to keep your kids away from those videos, but she's not Momo. You get. Oh man. You might want to check to see if Venus, if you have contact with her, see if she even knows that her audio is not working right now.
All right.
And while we're going through that, I guess I'll elaborate a little bit more about internet safety, because I am a father. I have a 9 and 10-year-old who both like to go on to the internet. She left the chat. She'll probably be back in. Should be back in. If not, I'll add her back in. Who do go on the internet? They like to watch the Roblox videos and this stupid thing. I don't even know really what it is, but where these kids are playing with stuffed Mario and Luigi's and they're having stupid adventures and stuff of that nature. They like these videos, and they're harmless. They're dumb, but they're harmless enough. But I am very cognizant of what they're watching on it, because of the fact that I don't want them exposed to things that, first off, will give them nightmares, but second off, that some creep doesn't jump in.
Exactly.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, my thing cut off again. I don't know which part I was at, but yeah, it cut off. Fucking tell us about internet. Worst fucking company in the goddamn world.
By the way, Juliana just jumped onto the chat and said, I do know that I babysit. So she definitely gets what we're talking about, that you have to monitor, what kids do on the internet. You have to be a parent. You can't no disrespect, Juliana. You can't have the tablet or the computer or the TV be the babysitter.
No.
You cannot let that be the parent either.
Exactly.
See, 7 months ago, my daughter's dad, my daughter was just turned 9 years old, and her dad's sister, who's a 40-fucking-year-old woman, decided that it was a good idea to give my daughter Snapchat. So with Snapchat, literally anyone can view your profile. I'm an adult. I could tell your location using Snapchat. Anyone can check out a child's location using Snapchat. So it was the worst fucking idea in the world. And why? Because she wanted to video chat with her. Are you fucking kidding me? You live down the goddamn street. You can go drive to her.
I kind of have the same issue right now. My 10-year-old daughter, has a fake Facebook account. And it's under an assumed name that her mother, I'm divorced, her mother allowed her to have. Now, see, not so much of an issue about that because my daughter has a way of contacting me. But the content within the fake account, she has memes saved in her photos that are sexual of nature. This is a 10-year-old girl. You break it down to its essentials, it's still a 10-year-old girl that creeps are probably going to try to talk to, first off thinking it's somebody your age or my age or something of that nature. And then when they find out they're not, there's still going to be some guys and some girls that won't care.
Yeah, see, there's easy ways to set up privacy settings. And if your wife wants your daughter to have a Facebook profile so she can contact solely you or something, you're gonna have to take the initiative as a parent to set up your privacy settings so that nobody could see your friends list. So none of your friends can see your friends list. The same with her mom. The same with relatives and stuff. Make your profiles your own personal profiles so safety secure that nobody sees your friends. You're not going to have any mutual friends because you changed the privacy settings. Then you can have a 10-year-old honestly have a Facebook account that only friends of friends can send you requests, but they would actually have to search up her fake name. Say you and her are friends. They'd actually have to search up her fake name, and it would show one mutual friend, and then they can add her.
Well,
but no strangers would be able to add her through your account.
No, I agree with you, but the problem is I don't get a say. Again, we're going to go into a conversation later about what makes a real woman. Trust me, I know I'm not a real woman because I have no rights when it comes to children. We also, Juliana did say she babysits for 2 kids, both 5 and 9, who both watch YouTube, same thing, Roblox and toy reviews, etc. And they were obsessed with Momo. It was disturbing. And then Green Machine 394, thanks for joining us, by the way, also stated that I am scared of Momo.
But you can't see her. She'll get you in your sleep, but you can't see her.
Well, correct.
Thank fuck you can't see her, because that would be terrifying. But if you're going to get me in my sleep, by all means, I'll be sleeping. Get her done. We all got to go somewhere or another. But if I can't see you, you can't hurt me.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, Momo is creepy. Momo is extremely creepy, but isn't Momo actually, the face of Momo anyway, actually a statue in an art museum in Japan of that face, that head, on a chicken's body, and it's supposed to be
mother bird, yeah,
mother bird or maternity, fertility type representation in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, it's mother bird. I think that's what it's called.
I mean, it's creepy as shit, even as what it is, but it's still, it doesn't have a nefarious background, but it's being used that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, which...
Sporatiq, you see anything else cool or creepy on the internet that parents should be worried about?
The only thing I think parents should be worried about is really monitoring their kids' accounts on Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook. Anything creepy? No, I don't think so. That's pretty much it.
Nothing worrisome, nothing parents should be concerned. Have you come across any creepers or stalkers or pedophiles or anything like that?
Oh, well, they're everywhere. They're on everything, every website. But there's no way to be safe from them because they are everywhere.
What needs to
you could take measures though. But you can take measures, though, against it, the privacy settings on your kids' accounts. If you are letting your kids use YouTube, you could let them use YouTube Kids, which is not that great of an idea because there are certain things going around in YouTube Kids. If you can search up, Spider-Man and Elsa things, there are some pretty sadistic, creepy tones in there if you look at them closely. It's quite entertaining for the more mature mind, but for a younger mind, it could be a little, not brainwashing, but a little confusing to them.
Well, perfect example would be the Bat Metal things, if you ever saw those videos. Somebody types in Batman, and they see that, they're just going to think it's a Batman cartoon until they actually see it.
What is it?
The Bat Metal, it's you ever hear of the death metal band called Death Clock, which was made for Metalocalypse? It's taken their songs and they did a Batman and his Bat family doing the music in the music video, and it's pretty much Batman with his cock out beating the shit out of all the villains and screwing all the super females, and it's pretty disturbing, especially the second one where he goes down and he kills Ariel and SpongeBob, and it's disturbing. Yeah, you should check it out. Kids should not.
It sounds entertaining as all hell, for an adult. But I mean, with the maturity level of an adult, I mean, I watched some of these Momo videos and I just died laughing. It was comparable to seeing Momo and hi, kids, and her face going forward and backwards. I'm like, yo, this is some 90s fucking Cartoon Network fucking shit right here. It was just stuff we used to watch, as a kid, in Ren and Stimpy or, whatever else they would throw at us,
Jesus,
but, I mean...
Jesus, Ren and Stimpy was not made for kids. Okay.
Oh, fuck no. And you know what? We used to watch it, and it's got the same type of tone to it. Watching it now as an adult, I'm sitting there dying laughing. I sat there and watched Momo, and oh my god, this is what kids today are scared of. Even hi, kids, oh my god, these kids would have never made it between 1990 and 1994 children. There's absolutely no way in hell.
Green Machine brings up a very good point. Netflix Kids is probably the best way to distract your child with a device. Netflix algorithms are way better for than YouTube's, and random people cannot post videos there. That's an absolute truth. If you're going to have your kids online watching videos, that probably would be the better way to go. Something like Netflix, or I don't know if Hulu or Amazon Prime have those. Probably, but but I definitely agree with that, because my kids do have a connection to my Netflix account that is kids only programming, so they can't accidentally discover Annabelle or something like that, and then yeah.
Yeah. Oh God. What they have that Disney Kids or something too, right?
True. I mean, you can get those, but basically what Green Machine is saying, I kind of agree with, is like paid services are monitored better. YouTube,
Yeah.
like Green Machine said, any random can create. We're creating a video right now.
Yeah.
You know, and we answer to nobody for this video. So our content, we try to tell people, look, our content's mature, it's explicit. Don't let your kids listen to it. Be careful. You're probably going to get triggered on the conversations we have. We try to warn people about that. But at the same time, there's no governing of us from people who might not be mature enough for our content on YouTube. So he's at, I'm assuming he from Green Machine. If you're a female, I do apologize. But I'll use that. They are absolutely correct. There's really no vetting on YouTube to really protect children, even within, as Sporatiq said, within the YouTube Kids subsection, if you will.
No, and you know what? Like Disney, okay, yeah, I'd say for children. But how many sexual innuendos are in Disney movies that even like adults miss? And your kids are watching that. Like, you know what? They don't get the concept of what they're even seeing at times. So is Disney even safer for your children at this point?
I would say technically yes, and I definitely want to get like Sporatiq's opinion on this, but I would say technically yes, because I mean I grew up on Disney and Looney Tunes, and of course the 80s and 90s Saturday morning cartoons. There were a lot of innuendo and everything else, but half the time I didn't get the joke until I was an adult. So to me, it was just watching the funny bunny or the mouse run around or the duck with no pants on, and it was just funny to me. Nowadays, a lot of the content that's coming out that's unvetted and not regulated by like FCC or censorship boards, that content is blatant. You know what I mean? It's not innuendo. It's not a little inside joke that a author or illustrator decided to throw in there. It's in your face, you know, pulling it out and slapping you in the left cheek with it. You know, and I think that's the major difference, is that there's one thing about an innuendo that most times will go over a kid's head, and blatantly pulling out basically a porn picture and saying, "Here, look. That's how you were actually created." You know what I mean? Sporatiq, am I wrong in that?
For me, I haven't witnessed anything like that yet in any TV show, but I can definitely tell you there are some innuendos, especially from when I was younger than I am now. I'd say around 7, 5, 8, 9, around then. There were definitely a lot of innuendos, like in SpongeBob and Fairly Odd Parents, all of those TV shows. There definitely was a lot of innuendos that flew right over my head, and some even my parents' head. But I know my sisters got them because they were a lot older than me. She's right here, right now.
Yeah.
She probably was just dying of laughter now, asking like, "What's so funny?" Like, so for kids now, I don't think it'd be a problem. But if, like you just said, if they're just pulling out a porn picture and showing them this is how you're actually made, then yes, I think this should be censored. They shouldn't have run that episode.
See, when you were like a little child, like I used to be like high as balls smoking like pot and stuff. And I remember one time you were watching like Toy Story and like sitting there watching like Buzz and Woody, and I was just dying laughing, and we had the best time watching it. But I'm thinking like Buzz and Woody, like I'm buzzed as hell, and like Woody, like, you know, it's got a reference to like a boner, and Buzz, like it's kind of like, if you put them together, it's kind of like a dildo, like Buzz and Woody.
Actually, I think that was a meme on Facebook for a little while of like Buzz Lightyear and Woody, and Buzz has got his hand on Woody's shoulder, and Woody looks concerned, and Buzz is like, "Look, Andy's mom's toys are named Buzz and Woody too."
See, and like I was like an adult mind, like I was like 17 at the time, so like sitting there and watching it, like it made it more enjoyable for me to sit there and watch it with like a 3-year-old. And, like, he had a great time sitting there watching it.
Yeah, but
so did I.
But you know what?
So does it make it easier for parents to pay attention when it's, like, sexual innuendos in kids' shows?
Again, that goes back to being a parent. If something like that comes through and your child decides they want to know what that's about or what that joke is, you have to make the decision of whether they should even be involved with that, or sit them down and explain to them, obviously not blatantly, but, you know, explain to them what it is and what it means. And especially because, like, a perfect example, I loved Back to the Future as a kid. I loved the first Back to the Future movie. There was some phrases in there that, you know, a 7, 8, 9-year-old kid shouldn't be saying. But I thought they were funny in the movie, so out on the schoolyard...
Everyone else laughed, right?
Yeah. So out in the schoolyard, I would say them and reenact what I saw in the movie. And then I didn't understand why I was suspended or in detention. So sometimes you do have to explain to the kids not only what the joke was, but why it's inappropriate for them to use it. But, you know, what you were saying about an adult mind of 17, I'm 42 years old, and I still laugh when the ketchup bottle farts. It's subjective. Adult mind is subjective.
Exactly. But what about schools also? Because parents can do all the censoring and all that they want, but then we have kids going to schools. And I remember when I was about 10 years old, and they had my first online internet chat, and literally kids were using this, and like that was like the first time like I was like getting introduced to like ASL, like your age, sex, and location and stuff, and meet me in this room, and like we were sexting and stuff at like 10 years old, and the schools, it flew right by the schools. I think it was like a Coke hub or something. Cook Motel or some shit. And so anyways, it actually took like a younger teacher who was like 23 years old to be like, what these kids are doing, they're getting more action than you guys, and you guys are adults. So they had to like ban that. And how many things actually get past school censored now?
Well, again, I mean, being the oldest one here, I went to school where our idea of text messaging each other in class was, you know, passing a note that said, "Do you like me? Check yes here or no here." I mean, you know, but at the same time, we got away with shit. I mean, I remember sneaking behind, you know, in elementary school, sneaking behind the special. I'm trying to use the correct term. Fuck it, I'll be non-PC on this. The mentally handicapped classrooms and making out for the first time and stuff like that, you know, because of the fact I couldn't think of the correct term. I apologize, but special needs class, I think, is what I wanted. You know, so I mean that's always been going on, and yes, there has to be student aides, and there has to be teachers that are well aware of what's going on or monitoring the halls. But again, parenting begins at the home with the parent. The teachers can only do so much, and we keep tying their hands. Back before even I was an itch in my father's pants, teachers used to be able to smack your kids. You know what I mean? And now they can't even raise their voices to your kids. So, I mean, we've got to untie teachers' hands a little bit, too.
Yeah, exactly. Authority figures. Like, kids are supposed to be able to trust adults, especially their teachers and stuff. And it's like at the point where lots of parents have to question, like, are teachers actually protecting my children? Well, are you giving them the opportunity to? Because they're supposed to be able to trust them. They're supposed to be able to talk to them. And yet they're scared to because they're always going to get in trouble. Like, if something happens, well, I don't want to get in trouble. I hear that from my daughter all the time. Well, this person was bullying me. and I got in trouble, and I didn't say anything, and I didn't do anything because I knew I'd get in more trouble. Is that really like what teachers do to children nowadays?
Pretty much. I mean, I've seen videos, and I've seen it in my kids' classes. Itself, where the kids are pretty much allowed to do whatever they want. I mean, first off, Brian Miller, another host on Realm of the Mist shows, says it best: is the participation trophy, the no child left behind rule, where there's no consequences. Everybody's a special little angel, and everybody's a winner. So there's no benefit to good behavior or hard work and dedication, because you're just going to pass anyway. And the teachers are really just showing up to collect a paycheck anymore because there's nothing they could do. I remember in high school, when I was in high school, the teachers just didn't care because we were hellions. They didn't care. We were hellions, and there wasn't much they could do about it. I remember getting in trouble in homeroom because I was drunk. I got in trouble, and the best the teacher could do was tell me to go down to the dean's office. All I asked him is, am I marked in for the day? He said, yeah. Now go to the dean's office. I said, okay. I walked right out of the school.
Sporatiq, how are teachers at school, from your experience? Because you're still in school right now.
Yeah, I'm still in school.
So how are teachers?
I can tell you now, in middle school is the key to everything you will learn, good or bad. If you do good in middle school, chances are you will do good in everything else. If you do bad in middle school or elementary, JK all the way to grade 8, you will pretty much get bad in everything else, because you will learn every base multiplications, all that. You will learn all your swear words from there. Bad behaviors or good behaviors, everything from middle school and elementary, and it carries up to you until, I'd say, high school, where you'd either leave your bad behaviors or leave your good behaviors there and carry on with your life as an adult.
So pretty much in high school is in the point when you have met the point where you are technically an adult or on the way to becoming an adult.
Yeah, it's the deciding moment of what you will be in your future.
Well, not only that, it's also influence around you. If I'm not mistaken, my friends list changed from elementary school and middle school to high school. I had friends from 4th grade till 8th grade, and then by 9th grade, all those friends became one or two that I still had, and then I had a whole new group of friends in high school. I don't know if your experience is the same. I guess that's kind of the question. Did your friend circle change when you made that transition, and do you think that influenced your behavior one way or the other as well?
Well, I moved from a small town up to a bigger city in Canada.
Okay.
So it had to change because I had no one coming here with me, obviously. So it changed, but I kind of stick within the same personality-wise that I came from. I'd say that the bigger towns have a lot less fun, since they're more everything's a little more strict, because there are gangs and more dangers than there was in the little town, or so they think, at least. And my friend group has not really changed. I've made more friends, but I haven't left really anyone behind. I guess they'll change throughout the years, though.
Okay, but do you think that's a major influence, or in a sense that basically the company you keep helps dictate the behaviors you do or do not take with you to high school?
Oh, yes, they do. I really do think so. But most of my friends do vape or smoke or drink, and I don't do any of those. But I guess I'm not influenced. I guess I'm a special little snowflake, if you want to say that. But yes, your friends do influence what you do. It's mob mentality. So if your friends are going to go out partying for the night, chances are you probably are going to go with them, because you don't want to miss out on anything. And you don't want to be the loser in the group, right?
Right.
So, yeah, they have a major impact on what you are doing in high school and throughout your life, I guess.
So what did you guys think about, did you take DARE classes?
Do I take what?
DARE, Drug Abuse Resistance Education.
I did that 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
They stopped
See, I
that,
thought-
didn't they? Or are they still doing
No.
it?
Well, I still had it done. I don't know if they stopped it now, but I still went through the class. And it's basically just telling you everything you need to know to buy and use drugs, what they will do to you and how expensive they are and all that. And like,
Yeah,
the only thing that does good is say to stay away. That's it. But it basically tells you everything you need to know to become a drug addict or not
See, like,
alcoholic.
yeah, and they tell you like, oh, like I remember taking it, and they pretty much told me, like the whole class, like this person in the high school right next to you sells marijuana, and we're all like, what? But we're buddies with him. Like we know where to buy marijuana now. Like we know where to get this. We know where to get that. And people are so worried about like kids seeing things on the internet. Hell no, it starts like right at school with that stuff. My daughter last year, she was just turning 9 years old. So 8-year-olds were being told about cocaine because part of their class. So she's running around my apartment chirping cocaine, and I'm like, what? Where did you learn this from? And she's like, well, I learned it at school. And she was telling me like they don't even teach her about her own body, but yet they're telling her about cocaine. So I mean, like, is there like more dangers that parents need to worry about than the internet, because they're obviously learning things other places? Like Sporatiq, you experienced your first near suicidal experience in grade school, right?
Oh yeah, that happened to me. I didn't try anything suicidal, but I had a friend who was, and he tried to attempt it at school.
And how old was he?
I'd say we were in grade 6, 7. No, probably even younger.
Yeah, because I remember I was around then, and like, yeah, you were still pretty young. And like people are worried about the internet telling people to kill kids, and it's like, well, there's kids that are trying to kill themselves right in front of other kids.
Not to jump in here, but we did get another message from a watcher named Intune Hunter, and they said it's sad that that it's true, but for me at least, I was not good with learning. It's not that I acted up really bad, but learning wasn't much that fun. So the No Child Left Behind actually helped me out. But it fails on everyone. It falls on everyone. The parents have to care enough to make sure the child does what we send them to school for. The child has to not act up and do what we send them to school for, and the teachers have to be there to care. I absolutely agree. And if I use the term "No Child Left Behind" because I know that was me that said that. I use the term "No Child Left Behind" because of the fact that we do have this thing now where nobody's allowed to be a loser. I was not meaning people who have learning disabilities or special needs or anything of that nature. I'm meaning that they've done, like down here in the United States, they've pretty much done away with the grading system. There's no longer A's, B's, C's, D's, and F's. You're not allowed to fail. Now it's exceptional and acceptable. Like the worst grade you could have is you're still passed. You know, you still get a good job. I mean, this is setting people up to fail, but it's also not teaching these kids that bad behavior, non-hard work has consequences. And that's where I was trying to get with that. So if I came off wrong with the No Child Left Behind about people who do need help staying in the curriculum with other people that may be a little bit more advanced for whatever reason, that's not what I meant. What I was meaning was the behavioral aspect and the non-consequences of behavior that has been shown in schools as of late. So I just want to clarify that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think there's any issue with, like, if you didn't learn your multiplication tables and, you know, like, it just didn't stick with you. Like, I don't see anything wrong with having to stay behind an extra year so that you actually learn that, because, like, what Sporatiq saying is you're going to need to have this information and going to have to use it sooner or later. And if you don't know it, you're not going to get very far.
Yeah.
That is happening. Well, let's be honest and fair. Unless you're going into particular things in life, most everything you need to know in school, you learn in 6th grade. By 6th grade. Most normal day-to-day activity jobs require the basics of math, reading, not even science and social studies, really, which is your four major subjects. So everything you needed for normal life for most people was learnt by the 6th grade. That doesn't mean you stop learning in high school or middle school, but
it's a foundation to get there.
Right. Now it's more academic. Now, of course, if you're going to be a scientist or you're going to be like an astronaut or you're going to be a physicist, yeah, you're going to need algebra. You're going to need geometry, trigonometry, all the advanced sciences, stuff of that nature. But if you don't really get it and your aspirations to be a construction worker, you don't have to get it. Do you know how to add? Yeah, can you read numbers and can you read the English language? That's all you need. You're good. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to dog. I mean, I am a construction worker. I'm not trying to dog construction workers. You can make good money and a good living as a construction worker, but I'm just saying you
definitely.
It's not advanced knowledge to be able to do it. And the biggest thing is that not everybody's made out to be the next Stephen Hawking. Or Degree Tyson. You know, not everybody's going to be the next Albert freaking Einstein, and we should stop treating it like it's a fail if they don't achieve that.
No, well, even like anthropology, anthropology is great with learning languages and history and everything. You could have a degree in that, but you're still not going to, doesn't mean you're going to get anywhere in life. You could be as smart as all hell, but if there's nowhere to use it, you're still going to fail in life. So even being smart sometimes doesn't make you the most adequate person in the world.
Look, I'll say it straight out. I've known some of the smartest people on the planet that their greatest achievement after school was, do you want fries with that? And then, you know, high school dropouts I've seen be the most successful. Look, I even support the guy, but I'll say it straight out. Donald freaking Trump is president of the United States of America, and I'm pretty damn sure he's mildly retarded.
Oh my God, I actually read an article where his dentist is saying that he has one of the most advanced brains in the world. Well, buddy, you're a dentist. You work on teeth. You have no neuroscience backing in order to say that, yeah, he's the most advanced brain. You know, he might have to clean his teeth. But you're in no position to be judging that.
Well, that's kind of my point, is that it doesn't matter your facilities. It doesn't matter your abilities. You can be successful in pretty much anything you do if you put your mind to it and you have at least a basic knowledge and understanding for the world. And like I said, most of that, and Venus, I know you're in your 30s. I'm in my 40s. We're a lot
I'm
farther.
not even 30 yet.
Oh, you're not. Excuse me, you're not even 30 yet. But
I'm 29 this month.
We're farther removed from school than Sporatiq is, since he's still in school. So I'm definitely going to ask him again. Am I wrong in that aspect?
Are you wrong in the aspect of you don't need to learn all this algebra, trigonometry, science, all this to have a good life and have a good paying job?
Right.
Yeah. In school, they really do treat it like you need to know all this information or else you aren't going to get anywhere in life and you're going to be living off the streets. But the thing is, I know it in my mind that if I don't do well in this course, I will fail the high school course, and I'll have to retake it, which I don't want to do. But I want to still get my diploma for high school,
right?
Which is a different thing. But they treat it as if if you do not learn this and if you do not do it right, you are going to fail at life, which is just totally wrong. Because I know some people who are living pretty good lives, pretty not mediocre, but pretty average lives that haven't really learned anything at all from high school, and most of it's just from grade 6.
I think what they're trying to say is, if you're not going to push yourself to get this course done, then your ambitions for life are going to be lowered. Like, you have like 4 months where you have to like diverse yourself into this one subject in order to pass it. You need a 60% to pass it. So if you can't push yourself to do that, you're not like your ambitions for life and you pushing yourself and your drive for life later on isn't going to be that successful.
Okay, but let's look at it this way. A lot of what high school is preparation for college. And they push because that's what they want you to do. They want you to graduate high school and go directly to college and take some sort of major. They don't care what the major is. It's just success is college. Success is not leaving high school and going to get a job or going to a trade school in their minds, and that is completely wrong. That's my point. Some people, they're just not cut out for college. Maybe a trade school is right for them, or the military is right for them, or simply a laborer's job. There's nothing wrong with having a laborer's job. There's nothing wrong with being a plumber laying pipe or a carpenter building houses. There's good money in it. It's more physical than mental, but, you're not a failure if you choose those careers. Sometimes college, more schooling, is just not for everybody, and they need to stop pushing it like if you don't go from point A to point B and from point B to point C, as Sporatiq said, you're going to wind up living on the streets eating out of dumpsters. That's not correct.
I actually got told in my phys ed class in grade 9 that if I didn't pass my phys ed class, that I would end up being a hooker on the streets in Toronto. And that's the exact words I got from my phys ed teacher. So that's how hard they are on kids. It's not like, it's a simple course. You just have to catch a ball once in a while. You do a bit of running. You do a bit of jogging. There's a health aspect. It's 4 months. Put your mind to it and get it done, because it's 4 months, and later on, unless you're going to have a job you may not like for the next 4 years, and you're going to have to push yourself to do it.
No, you're absolutely right. I'm going to use Brian Miller as an example here. Brian is in his just turned 30. He just turned 30. Got a baby on the way. Is getting married. Owns a house. Owns a car. He's a
millennial.
He's a millennial, but he owns all these things and he earned it. He worked for it. He's a grain operator for a farm out in Kansas. A farm. How much of the advanced stuff in high school do you think he uses in his day-to-day? Very little. But would you consider a 30-year-old who owns his own house, owns his own car, is putting together his family, has his life in order, would you consider that a failure in any way, shape, or form?
Absolutely not.
So see, Brian, if you're watching, I was actually paying you a compliment.
Yeah, we're actually starting to fringe on the next topic, shitty people with shitty behaviors. We've been dabbling in that for a little while now. Do you want to take a commercial break?
That's up to you. It's your show.
Okay, let's take a commercial break then.
All right, we will be right back.
Hey everyone, this is John Tolley, inviting you to check out War of the Stars, a Star Wars podcast. Each week, me and my co-host Christopher Stolley discuss the news and theories surrounding one of the largest movie franchises in the world. So join us every Wednesday at 8 Eastern as we travel to the galaxy far, far right here on Anchor FM and wherever fine podcasts are heard.
Hi, this is Dave from the Comic Collection at 83 Bustleton Pike in Feasterville, Pennsylvania. Our phone number is 215-357-3332. We are right next to Northeast Philadelphia. We have action figures, gaming, statues, albums, and CDs, graphic novels, other knickknacks, and, of course, comics. Established in 1985, we are your go-to store. Come by and say hello, and say that the guys from Radiocast FM Radio sent you. The address again is 83 Bustleton Pike, Feasterville, Pennsylvania, or call 215-357-3332.
Hi, my name's Chris, and I'm here to talk about Realm of the Mist podcast. Podcast, we talk about all the great things from movies, music, books, comic books, and many other forms of entertainment. as well as politics, current events, and just general human having a good time. If you're looking for a podcast that is right up your alley, look no further than Realm of the Mist podcast here on Anchor.fm, where fine podcasts can be heard.
And welcome back to It Had to Be Said with Venus, Christopher Stahl, and Sporatiq tonight. We're getting right into shitty people with shitty behavior. So, I guess you can pick up just where we left off, pretty much.
Well, lead us away. You know, because there's a lot. That's a very broad subject.
Okay.
Because we did kind of touch on it a little bit with, like, you know, influences of friends in school and stuff of that nature could lead towards shitty behavior. Of course, like Sporatiq said, like in elementary school, that's where you start learning curse words and, you know, you want to act like you're older and stuff like that. So, and impress your friends. So you start getting into smoking and, or whatever the case may be. So, like, shitty behavior and shitty habits do form from there. But I mean, we could go anywhere with this. We could talk in the workplace. We could talk in relationships. We could talk about, like, gaming communities, you know, or social media and trollers and stuff like that. There's so many shitty behaviors we could discuss.
Okay, well, since it's already been brought up, and it is really quite relevant, is your foundation of values and whatnot start off at such a young age. So what I find a lot of people is they sit there and they're like, they do something like shitty. Let's not classify what shitty is because we all know what shitty does. And they can sit there and be like, well, I had a bad childhood. And it's all blame on their bad childhood. So, in my opinion, that's what makes a shitty person is someone who, like, doesn't step up and say, well, I'm an adult now and I could change things. I could change myself, but once upon a time when I was a child, my parents were shitty parents. So I'm entitled to be a shitty person to other people now because that's how I was treated.
Yeah, see, I think right off the bat you're leaning right on a subject that I'm going to start going off on, because it's something that bugs me all the time and it's used way too often. It's this victim mentality. I had a shitty life. My father wasn't there. I was raised by a single mother, or, you know, look, I'm not going to make excuses. There are some people who have had really shitty lives. A step-parent touched them. A mother abused the living shit out of them. Their father was never in their life. They grew up in bad neighborhoods. As sad as all those things are, and I do know they happen, this is what I have to say to each and every one of you. So fucking what? You still determine you. You still made the choice to become a victim instead of a success. Because you didn't shrug that shit off and say, I will never allow that to happen to me again. I'm going to push myself farther and be a success in anything that I do, so that way I never go back into those types of scenarios. You rather play the victim and have the sympathy, and I don't have it for you. I feel bad that you went through what you went through, but that does not give you carte blanche to just go ahead and treat the next person the way you used to be treated. Because let's think about it for a minute. Did you like what you went through? Do you think somebody else likes it? Be a success, not a victim.
You took the words right out of my mouth with all of that.
Sporatiq, like, I know you've got friends in school that are like that.
Oh yeah, I do.
Like, do you sympathize with them, or do like you have to live with it more than I do? It's easy enough for me that I could just, you know, I could shut off my social media, I could shut off my TV, I could shut off the world and all that, and just spend time with my girl and my cat and my kids, and not have to face that type of scenario. You kind of face it more day to day. So, like, how do you interact with it? How does it make you feel seeing other people who may or may not have gone through some bad shit, but then they start treating other people that way, and their excuse for it is, oh, I'm a victim, rather than, well, I'm just a shithead.
Well, yeah, obviously I've been exposed more to it more often because I go to school every day. Well, not every day, but I go to it over a period of time for a long time. I'm exposed to some pretty shitty people, like people that vape and then blame it on their problems at home or blame it on a breakup or blame. That's all bullshit. They could do whatever they want at school. School's a way to escape or a way to make it worse. And people that can make it worse are some teachers, actually. Some teachers can make things worse, but they can also make things better. You can have a really bad teacher that you don't agree with on anything, or you can have a really nice teacher that you agree with things on, and she or he will actually talk to you, or they will talk to you about your problems, or even a friend. But the things with friends is that they can switch up on you at any time. They can switch up on you with other people. They can switch up on you just in general. Like, they could just leave at any point, and you never know. And then
they leave you with abandonment issues.
yeah, and then you become one of the shitty people. But it's also hard to get out of that place when you feel like you are the victim, and you think that you've been victimized, and you want to feel better, and you start victimizing other people because you think you were the victim in a situation, which is always willpower. But some people don't have a very strong willpower or brain power for that instance. That they will just do some very, very shitty or messed up things, such as date someone and then break up with them just so they can feel better about themselves, or ruin someone's reputation at school, which is probably one of the worst things that can happen in high school, is ruining your reputation with other people. And also drugs. Drugs is a big thing. A kid just got busted for about like 3 baggies, like Ziploc baggies of weed, not too long ago.
Yeah, but aren't you allowed to have that much on you as a minor?
No. Like 3 Ziploc bags full in his locker.
Oh.
And it's not permitted
like
on
3
school
ounces.
property.
I'm imagining he's talking about like freezer bag size Ziploc bags, not little Nick
Sandwich
bags.
bag.
Yeah.
No, sandwich baggies, yeah.
Yeah, because the legal laws are. I actually have them here. I kept
But
them.
they're still not permitted on school property.
Exactly.
If you have it on school property, they can take it from you. And lighters and knives and pretty much anything and everything. They have the right to search your stuff.
Well, here's a stupid question, because I don't know how Canada schools are. Just real quick, it's because I'm curious about this. They found 3 bags of weed. How did they get it into the school? Because I don't know how it is up in Canada, but don't they have the bag searches and the metal detectors at your guys' school? Because I know they have them down here, and they didn't have it when I was in school, but I know they have it now. Okay,
well, here is Bill C-45 that has been passed in Canada. Possession. So these are the actual laws. Children aged 12 to 17 years old can possess up to 5 grams or 10 to 15 joints. Children can distribute up to 5 grams to other 12 to 17-year-olds.
Wait. What?
That's the actual laws. I have it like right here, like right on my wall.
What was the age again? 12 to 15?
12 to 17. Yeah.
Children can carry up to 10 to 15 joints and distribute them.
Brad, you could be making bank right now, illegally.
Yeah, but it's not morally. There's a difference between doing stuff legally and morally, and I don't think I'd be that kind of person to sell.
See, I'm a person, I don't smoke pot. I actually don't agree with legalization for recreational use. However, what adults do with their lives is their business. Okay, so if they legalize it for recreational use for the adults, great. You're talking about a 12 to 15-year-old that you are legally allowed to be a drug dealer. How is this okay?
It's to protect kids. Well, if you wouldn't have legalized it in the first fucking place, you wouldn't have been giving kids permission to do it. They still would have done it. They still probably would have stole their parents' weed, a gram or 2 or something. kids would always have done that. Kids always will do that. But you've given them legal permission to actually sell it now. See, like if a 15-year-old were to smoke a joint with another 15-year-old, there would be absolutely no criminal charges. There'd be no problems with that. And whoever has the weed, well, where'd you get it from? Instead of saying, I bought it from my friends, just be like, well, it's sold from my mom and dad. Nobody's going to get in trouble.
Oh, my God.
Literally, no one will, because your parents are legally allowed to have it. But now you want to start giving kids permission to do all this.
Oh, my God. That just blew my mind. Canada allows that?
It does. It's the actual liberal laws.
Oh, my God.
Like,
that is absolutely insane.
See,
What?
I don't think there should be any laws for like teenagers or anything. Like, you do what you do. Like, we've all done it before. We've all stolen weed from our parents. We've all stolen cigarettes or alcohol from our parents. You're not going to get in trouble. It's like, well, I stole it from my parents. Well, your parents kiss, a little slap on the wrist. Your kid was smoking weed and they got it from you. Nobody is in fucking trouble, but you're giving kids a license and the permission to actually do this shit even without their parents' consent or their parents not knowing. Now their parents don't know what they're doing because they don't have to tell their parents because they're legally allowed to do it.
That's
How do parents monitor their children now?
That's where it's really hurting my brain. Again, I don't care if people use. I don't agree with it personally, but what people do in the privacy of their own home or in their own lives is their own business. Yes, even 12 to 15 years old. I know 12 and 15-year-olds when I was in school that were getting high and shit. Like, I know you get it. I know you smoke it, whatever. But to sell it, to say it is legally okay to send my 12-year-old kid out with a nick bag of weed to go earn $5 so they can go see a movie. What?
Well, at least they're starting young, right? They got the hustle, they got the mentality. Like, if I work for it, if I buy it, this is how business works.
When I was that age, I wanted when I was that age, I wanted a goddamn Nintendo, like the 8-bit Nintendo when it first came out. My grandfather said, okay, hold on a second. He went into his bedroom. I thought he bought me a Nintendo. I got all excited. He came out with an old wooden box, handed it to me, and I said, what am I supposed to do with this? He said, go downtown, $1 a shine. It was a shoe shine kit. That's how I earned freaking money to buy a Nintendo. Not sell weed. At 11, 12 years old.
So kids can sell weed to each other, which is perfectly legal. But adults are not legally allowed to sell weed to other adults.
Get away from my care package.
Indoctrination, maybe?
You have to buy it from a government facility, like a government store or a government website online. That's where you have to buy it from.
Taxes.
Or you are... Texas is like that?
No, taxes, not Texas. Taxes.
Oh.
They want control of it because they want the adults to pay taxes on it.
See, now if I want to buy weed, I'm going to go find a little kid who's selling weed because I don't want to have to pay up the ass for their weed.
Right.
So I'm going to go find some little kid because he's selling weed and he's allowed to. I'm 12 years old. You don't know. And I don't know. Here you go, buddy. Here's your money.
Right. But the Royal Canadian Police Department, they bust you buying from a 12-year-old. The 12-year-old's not going to get in trouble. He's well within his rights, but you're supposed to be buying from a taxing state store or county store or whatever, or a government site. You're going to be in trouble because you're buying it illegally because you're not buying it from a controlled environment. Kids, fine. You're in trouble.
Isn't that fucked up? So kids are now getting permission to do things that adults aren't allowed to do. And the foundation of who you're going to be when you're an adult starts when you're a kid. And so now they're getting away with doing things that adults aren't legally allowed to do. So is this something that's going to cause more shitty behaviors and more shitty people later on in life?
Yes. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. Yes.
Sporatiq, what do you think?
I think that is 100%. That if kids can do whatever they want now, well, why are they going to stop when they're adults?
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Like, this is what the government and the laws and everything let your kids get away with. It's not even parents anymore. Parents can't even parent their children. Parents can't even give their children a solid foundation and basis to grow up on with, like, good morals and values or, you know, any legalities, because there are none. There are no fucking rules anymore.
Here, Billy, here's a tablet. Go watch Momo, and then when you're done, go sell this dime bag for Daddy. Oh my God. I had so much more respect for Canada up until that point. Oh my God.
Don't blame Canada. Blame the Prime Minister.
The government of Canada, you know.
Yeah, there you go.
Like I said last week, I still got love for my neighbors to the north, you know. You guys put gravy on French fries and maple syrup and Canadian bacon, and hockey and lacrosse were two of my favorite sports, you know, so love for Canada.
And the Pop-Tarts.
Love for Canada, but you guys sent us fucking Justin Bieber. That's a strike, and now this one's strike too.
Right? And like like the U.S. is looking at like Canada's guidelines for legalizing marijuana. Like a lot of the world is, and it's like, well, you guys, like seriously, like we have kids that don't even have to listen to the parents anymore. How do parents even give their children a good, you know, home life when they could just pretty much tell the parents, go fuck yourself? And, you know, they're not getting that stability. They're not getting any of that. So they're going to grow up to be shitty people with shitty behaviors because I could do whatever I want mentality is going to stick with them. When all reality, no, you can't do what you want. Like when you go to work, your boss tells you what to do. Your boss may be a shitty person, but your boss signs your fucking paychecks. And you do what your boss says because that's what you're there to do. Now all of a sudden it could be like, well, I don't fucking want to, so too bad.
Well, see, you're hitting the nail directly on the head, and the Canada's legalization of children being pushers is a perfect example of it. Is again, there is no consequences for bad behavior. And the United States, I mean, we're not to that extreme yet, but we're kind of the same way. We're not allowed to discipline our kids. We're not allowed to raise our voices to our kids anymore because it's emotionally damaging. Like kids are getting away with murder. They're beating on their kids, or their parents. They're ignoring their parents. They have no fear of their parents or respect of their parents or other authority figures, which breeds more and more shitty people who become Antifa and BLM members, by the way. You know, and want free shit from the government all the time, but not work for it because they don't believe everything that they want has a consequence or a need to produce. It just should happen. I want it. Give it to me. This is the mentality you're creating by not having consequences for actions, for especially for misbehaved behavior. And I don't care if it's, you know, cursing out your mom or again selling an 8-ball on the weekend. There's got to be consequences, and if there's not consequences, the kid is never the child is never going to grow up knowing that sometimes I do something, mistake or otherwise, it could wind up biting me in the ass. So you become a better person to avoid doing that in the future. And then, of course, you also pass that on to your offspring.
And you're not allowed to do that now. So now it's going to be like, well, my parents weren't there for me emotionally or anything. Well, no, because you're a little jackass to start off with. You did whatever the fuck you wanted. Your parents are defeated because they can't tell you no. So if you're going to blame your shitty childhood, there's other reasons why your parents made it a shitty childhood. That's what we're getting to in life, not just like, oh, well, my dad used to beat my mom. Well, I don't think you're going to have to worry about that so much as a problem anymore. Because now we have moms that are just like, I could do whatever the fuck I want as well. And no wonder where kids are getting it from these, like, fucking moms that just do whatever the fuck they want. Why? Because they're women.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. If anything, in today's society, I think the roles are reversed. Men used to be the pigs. We were, you know, chauvinistic, domineering,
Asshole.
controlling assholes who cheated on their wives and, smacked them around when they didn't live the Donna Reed lifestyle. And I'm gonna own it. Yes, men used to be like that. I'd say about 20 years ago, 20, 30 years ago. Even that far back, 20, 30 years ago, right? A hell of a lot more further back, but But it's really reversed. It seems like now it's the women who have this mentality, this third-wave feminism, if you will, is that I'm just settling for you. You're nothing. You're trash. I can get whoever I want, whenever I want. I don't have to be a stay-at-home mom, or I don't have to be the house giver. You make your own damn food. I don't have to give you this pussy because you don't deserve it. I'm not saying that you have to do that, but I'm saying this is the mentality that they have, to the point that men are the ones that are trying to keep the relationship or the family dynamic together, and women are the ones that are stepping out.
Yeah. Sorry, I totally forgot what I was going to say. My dog, distracted me. But it's like, once upon a time when I was 15 years old, this guy broke my heart and cheated on me. And then I ended up in the same mentality that, I got cheated on, and I ended up with another cheater who cheated on me again. And then this guy cheated on me. And you know what? It continues. The cycle continues. If you're going to be a victim, act like a victim, think like a victim, you're going to be treated like a victim. So when they finally step out of this role and they're like, I'm an empowered woman, they don't step out of it and say, okay, I forgive my past. Shit happens. When you're young, you do shitty things to shitty people. It happens. You grow up between, under the age of 25, you have to expect that you're going to do shitty things. By 25, hopefully you smarten the fuck up and realize this isn't right how I was treated. I can't treat other people like this. And, you find someone who's actually complimentary to yourself, who's not going to cheat on you. And, you treat them with respect as well. But they don't have that mentality. They turn the tables. Well, this happened to me, so I'm going to do it to you, which is totally not fucking right. They don't grow up. Why? Because they're entitled to. Well, over-entitlement is fucking killing all of society.
Sporatiq, you've been quiet for a while, man. I mean, are you encountering this with people in your school? Are women really the females in your school really the more domineering than the males? And would you say their personalities and attitudes are really I'm trying to be nice about this here, devil may care and fuck your feelings? It's all about
the men
me.
that are still at that stage, or is it there any gender role where people play that dick fucking mode?
No, it's not like that. But there is this one thing. It's where everyone is treated equally, which is not a bad thing, but it's over equal, if I can use that as a word. We have girls acting like boys, boys acting like girls, and then people acting in between, and then we have just these big groups, right? And they think they're all equal. And what was I going to say here?
So basically, equality. Basically, equality to the point of assimilation.
Equality over equity. Equality over equity is basically what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
So they're all different.
No, because everyone is different, and they require different needs. So we have the special needs, and then we have the average person on the same level, which shouldn't be like that. We should be giving more care, and we should be giving more time towards the special needs people, instead of mixing everyone together and saying, boom, we're all equal as a society. Which is true, we all have equal rights, but we should be giving more time and spending more money on people that actually need it than people that don't, because that's what creates over-entitlement.
Does anybody remember the days where it was celebrated to be an individual? Like this equality thing, I agree.
No.
I agree that everything should be equal in the sense that everybody should have equal opportunity, and everybody should have equal human rights, or treated with equal human rights. But why does everybody have to be the same? What happened
So
to
what
celebrating diversity? Celebrating the fact that, like, for perfect example, Venus, you're a woman. You could bear children. I can't. As a man, I cannot. I celebrate the fact that you could do that, and I can't. You should be celebrating the fact that I could pee standing up and write my name in block letters. I mean, but I know it's like a vast difference of things, but it's a celebration. It's the celebration of diversity, but not necessarily saying that you're inferior because you can't pee standing up, nor am I inferior because I can't birth a life out of me. It's just, we are the same. We are equal. We're both human beings. We deserve equal rights, equal whatever. But
respect, at least.
Respect, but I celebrate the fact that you have abilities and attributes that I don't have.
See, I celebrate being a woman for what it is. Like, I don't care. I'm anti-feminist. Why? Because I think their ideology is fucking crazy, okay? Like, those bitches be cray-cray. And if anyone wants to if anyone takes that personal, feel free to get at me. We'll have a conversation. I'm not hating on anyone specifically. I'm hating on people as a general group. I'm going to put that out there. But seriously, in 14 years, it changed from individuality, where we still got the equal respect. We still saw each other, hello, how are you today, blah, 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 blah. And we still functioned on a fucking adult socially level of respect. To now, you guys are all sporadic. You guys are all treated as equals, and you guys are looked at as equals, and you have no individuality. And that's in 14 years that changed.
Well, see, I think this third wave feminist movement, and I know this is leading into the topic of conversation you really wanted to get into, so we'll get there. This third wave movement, unlike previous feminist movements where it was about equality, give women the vote, give women equal pay and equal opportunity and stuff of that nature. Yes, absolutely, women are equal to men. Should be treated as equal to men. They are not inferior in any way, shape, or form. But this movement is now about superiority to men. They disguise it as, oh, we're still looking for equality. You're equal. There is nothing in this world a woman is blocked from being able to do. In fact, it's finally become completely, at least down here in the United States, completely equal, because now women can be drafted for the military service. It used to be only men, but they wanted equality so badly the government gave it to them. Said now you can be drafted for war. They don't like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I always used to find that. Yeah, no doubt. But I always used to find that women were far superior to men, and I'm not even gonna lie. And this is what makes, like, my opinion, personally, anti-feminist, is women were superior to men. Women still are superior to men. We did not need any equality. Men are supposed to be gentlemen, and women are not supposed to take any shit lesser than that. But then all of a sudden, this whole, I went through a shitty life stuff comes in, and I'm going to repeat the bad behaviors that were done to me, and let people that hurt me, and let bad things from my childhood repeat themselves. And that's the mentality that women got into. Women, okay, here's a big heads up. You have the pussy. You have the power. There's not a single man in the world who will not do anything to not get the pussy. Stop giving it to them. Make them work for it and treat you right. Make them, have manners, proper mannerism towards you. Act like a gentleman. Treat you like a real lady. But these feminists that, oh, I want to be treated good, and I demand this, and I demand that, and I demand that. Oh, well, these men are creepers. These men did this. This man did that. If you don't want to be with a man, don't be with a man. You want to be a lesbian? By all means, go be a lesbian. Stop degrading the manlyhood that I expect from men as a woman.
See, with this modern day movement, they want men to be more like women, so they have them giving their man buns and wearing the hip hugger jeans and become beta cuck males, and then they sit there and bitch that where are the real men at? You killed them.
Exactly.
You told them they were misogynist pigs. You told them that wasn't acceptable in this society. You killed them. That's where they went. They're gone. They're dead. Except people like me, which Except for people like me who are treated like fucking, Frankenstein's monster because of the fact that I refuse to conform.
Right? Like women want rough sex. They want men to grab them, throw them up against wall and stuff. Well, the second you don't ask for my permission, it's non-consensual. Make up your motherfucking minds already. Do you want it or do you not want it? Because men are simple creatures. Very fucking simple creatures. You tell them, this is what I want. That's what you will get. There's no in-betweens with men. If you tell them specifically, I want you to come home for my birthday, and for my birthday I want a dozen red roses with one white one. They will bring you that. Exactly that. They're not going to play games about it. They're very simple, not unintelligible, but very simple and direct creatures when it comes to stuff like that.
That's the key. Direct. Direct.
Exactly.
Men are direct. We don't like the head games that women like to play with men. Oh, you should know by now. You figure it out by now. Oh, nothing's wrong, honey, when you're stewing. We take that at face value. It's not because we don't give a fuck. It's we're not going to play the guessing game with you. If you want something from us, ask.
Mm-hmm.
Ask. It's that simple. You want me to take you to dinner and you want to get tacos? Let's not play you want to go out to eat? Yeah. Where do you want to go? Oh, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What do you want? No, what do you want? No, what do you want? And then when you get choose something else, how about Kentucky Fried Chicken? No, I don't want that. And it breaks out into an argument. Well, fuck, if you wanted tacos, why didn't you just say so to begin with?
It would have saved a bunch of arguments, and like, honestly, if you want a man to behave and, treat you right, just tell them, I want this. I want that. You do it this way. This is what I expect. Don't tell them too many things at once either. Just don't. Give them one simple demand or a request at a time. Like, I would love it if you would rub my feet. Okay, let it dwell for a little bit. Men are also very slow when it comes to getting things done. Like, let's not kid ourselves. Like I saw that one meme, if a man says he'll do something, he'll get it done. You don't need to remind him every 6 months.
Yeah.
They'll get it done. Just, wow. So, Sporatiq, I don't know if you have any relationships or anything going on, or what you've witnessed for relationships or, like, good relationships or anything. Do you have a picture of what a man and a woman should act like in life, or how they should treat each other, or what's expected of them?
Yeah, I think that a man and a woman should coexist with each other. Not just put up with each other, but be there for one another and actually listen to the other person. But they shouldn't treat them as their slaves to themselves like that. And going back to the third wave feminist thing.
Yes.
How they treat men. That's another thing. Study has shown that, the single mother took care of 3 children. Yes. Study has shown that when there is no father figure present in a family, that the boy of the family will actually have lower, what's it called? I'm thinking
IQ?
They'll have lower, hormones. Testosterone. They have lower testosterone and act more feminine than usual. And they also, recently has been found that it's more common for boys to have depression and more anxiety than even women. Depression was actually a feminine thing. Like, girls used to have depression. Now it's switching over to boys. And people are wondering why. Why is this happening? It's because there is no father figures anymore. It's just, father figures are always misogynistic and beat their wives, right? That's not what happens in most relationships, or what shouldn't happen. And then people wondering why all these boys are depressed and acting like girls, because they are taught to act like girls and they are treated to be girls.
You know what?
If you let it happen, it will happen.
You know what? I'm starting to love your brother. He's got the right mindset in every aspect. He's 50. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to pay attention. This kid is 15 years old, and he's got it more together than most of you.
Happy birthday.
Oh, today's your birthday. Happy birthday.
Sporatiq. Happy birthday.
He's got it together better than most of you out there, because he's got it. It should not be the man is the dominant in a relationship, or the woman should be the dominant, or even in this modern day and age, with homosexual couples or transgender couples. One person should not be the dominant over other. You shouldn't even be worrying about yourself in a relationship. A healthy relationship is my concern is my girl's concern is me. And we work together to fulfill each other's needs. Not because we're slaves, not because we're required to, because we want to. Because we care about the other person enough that their needs are more important than my own. He gets it. Why can't you people?
Because he's not tainted by other people's ideology. He's like a child. Well, not a child. He's a young man who gets to think by himself. I mean, he's got two older sisters.
That helped.
and he's not sitting here playing the victim role. He's like, look, I learned shit. I took it for what it was, no matter how bad it was, and I fucking matured from it. I let it grow. Even a bad seed might still sprout, Well, I don't know. I'm trying to think of some reference to use here. But he didn't sit there and dwell on it. No, he had to grow up. He had to move on with his life. I mean, yeah, I'm sure a lot of things that happen in your life still hurt you at the end of the day, but look how mature you are from it all.
No, absolutely. I applaud this. Don't ever lose this mentality, Sporatiq. If I can give you any word of advice, stay who you are. Don't let this world change that in you, because you're the hope this future needs. People like you, with the mentalities like you have, that's what's going to fix the world. Not this crazy shit we see in the news every day now. People like you are going to fix it, because you got your head on right. Don't ever lose that. That's the best piece of advice I can give you.
All right, thank you.
Well, since we're here bitching about women now, I guess we could move on to what makes a woman a real woman. And we're not just going to look at the biology or the physicality or the mentality. We're going to look at them all. What makes a woman a real woman? So from a woman's perspective, I know so many women, we get older, we go through menopause, we stop ovulating. Does that make us lesser of a woman or not a real woman? Do smaller titties make us lesser of a woman? Does not having an ovary or a uterus not make us any more of a woman?
Well, those types of things I can answer with just asking you a simple question. Does a small penis make a man less of a man? In your definition.
It depends how you're taking it.
No, I don't mean
yeah, that's a sexual joke.
yeah, I know. But I will answer the question with a question. Does a small penis make a man any less of a man?
No. But okay, so I'm going to bring up this.
So all those things you just said, there are women who can't bear children. There are women who were born without eggs in their ovaries. There are women who were just born with small tits. That doesn't make them not women.
Okay, so let's bring up this point. Because we have a lot of confusion going on in around us in the media and everything. What makes are transgender women real women? What makes them real women? So we could have the argument now to say that a real woman, a biologically born woman, 2 X chromosomes, has a hysterectomy, no more uterus. Is she still a woman? Because we have men that become women who have no uterus, and they feel like lesser of a woman. So what's your guys' take on that?
Sporatiq, I'll let you go first, because I'm probably going to piss people off with my answer.
That's. I don't think that's up for someone like me to decide. I think it's more of Anyways, it's not just one person to decide on all of that. It's more of just a group, society, depending on their definition of a woman. Because my definition will be very, very different from a woman than society's.
What's your definition of a real woman?
Real woman. Hormones, different hormone balances, brain activity, growth, there's different statures with women and men. That's what would make a woman a woman. I guess more just everything biological. If a man wants to become a woman, I don't see anything wrong with it, but I don't want their ideology pushed on me. It's more of just their thing, you know?
Well, see, that's kind of where we're touching on the subject. That's where I'm afraid I'm going to piss people off, which, again, I don't personally care. This is just my point of view. You don't have to agree with it. But for me, a real woman, if we're talking biology, obviously it's the XX chromosome. If you were born biologically female, you are female. Period. Now, if we're talking physically, yes, there are women who are born without uteruses or had to have a hysterectomy or were born barren or whatever the case may be. So like Sporatiq said, it goes more into the mentality, the brainwave patterns and stuff of that nature. So yes, there are men who have female brainwave patterns, which may or may not become transgender people or just very feminine males. That's neither here nor there. You could argue that point of that being a real woman. To me,
yeah,
though,
listen right here. Just because, like, I'm a woman who has more masculine brain thought process, brainwaves, typical or similar to a man's. But I've never one day questioned my sexuality. I've never one day said, well, I think like a man, so I must be a man trapped in a woman's body.
Well, I mean, we're breaking into another subject that will piss a lot of people off. Sexuality and gender are two completely different things. Yeah, sexuality, sure. They want to treat it like it's the exact same thing, but there are only two genders in this world. There are male and female. There is no tow truck.
Don't forget a hermaphrodite.
Hermaphrodite are still they may be both together, but it's a male and female together. It's still male and female. Okay, I'm talking about the ones that want to act like bisexuality or pansexuality, which again, sexuality is a gender. It is not. It is not. A transgender person, okay, perfect example for this. A transgender person is a male who wants to become or feels that they should have been female, or vice versa, female who male. The key word is at the end of the day, at the end of their transition, they are either male or female.
Exactly. They choose a gender.
It's still
like
a gender.
One or the other.
Right. It's one of the two genders. Now, your sexuality, what you're attracted to or feel that you should be attracted to, that's a completely different scenario. That has nothing to do with physicality or anything of that nature. That's a mental state. That is what attracts you. They argue that I am a cisgender straight male because of the fact that I accept the fact that I was born male and I like women. But here's the separation. I was born male. I have an XY chromosome. I have a penis. Okay, I'm a male. And I am sexually attracted to females, not sexually attracted to males. I'm a straight sexuality. I'm straight or heterosexual, and I'm male. My sex is separate from my gender. Because am I any less male if I was gay?
Absolutely not. Here's a question. Well, something interesting. You guys don't have to answer this, but it was an honest question that somebody posted on Facebook.
Okay.
So if a woman decides to date a transgender male, is she still straight?
That's a hard one to decipher because you're talking about a perfect example. There is a YouTuber out there who's a transgender, calls themselves a transgender lesbian, Riley Dennis, who not only turns around and proclaims that they are transgender female, although they don't want to change their plumbing, for lack of a better term, and has sex with a quote-unquote straight female, a cis a cis female, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now her girlfriend considers herself a lesbian, but really sexually they're having heterosexual sex. I think it's really just the definition of that, I think, is in the eyes of the two people involved. You know what I mean? If they feel comfortable saying that she is with a he, even if that he has not gone through full transition and has the wedding tackle hanging, then if that's what helps you sleep at night and the way you want to look at the relationship, power to you. I really don't. I don't think it's for any of us to judge whether it's gay or straight.
See, I don't think your parts. Well, because if you want to talk about a uterus or something, I don't think necessarily your parts would define your gender. Not like, for the most part, like, yeah, you have a penis, but you're a female. Okay, well, you're a female. I've got no issue with that. If you want to be a man, I mean, you like start stepping into that masculine role. I've got no problem with a female becoming a male. You know what? By all means, we've got so many people that are confused about their gender and sexuality. If you're convinced that's what you are, I'm sold. That's what you are. Bag it and tag it. I see it like I call it like I see it. You decide that. That's not for anyone else to decide when it comes to your sexual parts or whatever.
Let me shoot one out. I'm going to shoot it out to Sporatiq. I'm going to ask you this question, Sporatiq. All right, this is going to be a hypothetical. Let's play a little role playing here. Okay, you're a straight male. All right, you're a straight cisgender male. You're happy being a guy. You like sleeping with women. Okay, I'm a transgendered woman, but I haven't had the full transition. I still have hormones I'm taking. I still, have a tree trunk under my skirt. Fact of the matter, okay? I'm sexually attracted to you. I want us to hook up, but you're not into it. Is it because you're transphobic, or is it because the fact that even though you are willing to look at me as a woman, I am not the type of woman you would want, because you would want a cisgendered woman as a straight male? How would you perceive that?
I would perceive that as no. I wouldn't think I would be transphobic for saying no to that relationship. It's more of a thing where you have the male part. You say you're a woman. You might look feminine enough, but that's not the thing. You're still not a woman to the person you're asking to deal with. Maybe they just don't want to have relations with the parts attached to another man. Some people don't want that because they are straight. That is one of the first sexualities that came out, like the OGs. Not the new sexualities like pansexual and all of that. Attracted to everything.
Pansexual is actually really old, and demisexual and sapiosexual. But they're sexualities.
I get what he's coming from, though, because it's had a very recent rise in popularity among the masses. Is what he was meaning. I got what he meant.
Yeah. I was just pointing out that fact.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's transphobic of you to do that. I just think it's your own personal body. Like everyone, they can't force you to go out with that person, because in the end of the day, it's your own decision. That doesn't mean that you absolutely can't stand trans people like Hitler hated the Jews. It's nothing like that. You just don't want to go out with that person.
Well, the reason I asked that question.
Do you still treat them as a female though, or just when it comes to sex, when you see them on the street, like, hey miss, how are you doing, or hey ma'am, how are you doing? But when it comes to like your own personal space, you've got your own personal limits. But would you still treat them as a female?
Well, see, that was kind of the purpose of the point, and yeah, that's why I said to him, like, he looks at me as a female, but he knows that I'm a trans female. That's why I use that as an example. The reason of being that I asked that question is there is a movement within the LGBTQ community who is pushing that if you will not date or sleep with a transgendered person who
That's rape.
started life as
That's
the
right.
same gender as you,
That's right.
you are transphobic. And that
Sexual
you are expressing
that's
you
rape.
are expressing hatred and bigotry towards them because you don't want to cross swords or rub vaginas together simply because they identify as an opposite gender. And that was why I asked that question. You want to know what a real woman is? I will tell you what a real woman is. A real woman mentally would accept that maybe sometimes somebody just doesn't want to sleep with me and move on.
That's right.
For whatever reason.
Well, not everyone is attracted to everyone. We're going to make that clear. Not all bisexual women are attracted to all women and all men. Not all gay men are attracted to all gay men. You still have your preference, like, oh, I prefer a blonde male, or, they've got to be this height or something. And this is what we see with feminism as well, is this guy's got to be like 6 foot tall, or he's not a real man. Well, lady, you don't even act like a female. Like, you don't act ladylike, and you're gonna start calling what is a real man. When you act like that, I don't see you as a real lady. So you're really putting pressure on everyone, and it's like, look, you need to work on yourself and a lot of self-acceptance within your own self, because you're really pushing like really extreme values on other people and really extreme expectations.
Well, see, the transgender community, I'll let a little something about this be known. I was hoping they'd be on the show tonight. They weren't, unfortunately. I do have a transgender friend, and this person was a friend of mine for 20-plus years. Okay, I'd known her when she was a guy and confused and everything else for a very long time. And I was one of the first people she came out to. And when she came out to me, my first response, I kid you not, my first response is, I will not fuck you.
Wow.
And after we laughed at that statement because it was a joke, I totally accepted the fact that this is what she did. Of course, I had to learn to use the proper pronouns and stuff like that. I slipped so many times because of the fact that I'd known this person for 20 years as one thing, and now there's somebody else. You know what I mean? I accept her for who she is. I'm nowhere near physically attracted to her. I've never been attracted to her. I wasn't attracted to her when she was a guy. I'm not attracted to her now. But that doesn't mean I don't respect the fact that she's a female. Fine, cool. You're a female. But it doesn't make me transphobic that if she turned around one day and said she wanted to go down on me, and I'm like, no, 5 o'clock shadow. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't mean that I don't accept her as a female or what she wants to identify as. It means that I'm still not attracted to you, regardless. Even if you were born female, I'm still not attracted to you. That's not the issue, but it's being made that is the issue nowadays. That I'm transphobic because I don't want to have sex with a trans person who has the same genitalia I have, or may not have had the full transition. Then, of course, you get the question, well, what if they're a trans person that had the full surgery? What if they've been
I was just about to ask you that.
completely converted? And here's the thing. I don't know. I will be dead honest with you enough to say I don't know. In that aspect, I don't know. Did I know that so many different variables come in? Did I know beforehand? That may put a taint on it. Or vice versa. Let's say, for the sake of argument, I meet a girl, I fell in love, we had sex, and while we're laying in bed cuddling afterwards, she turns around and tells me she used to have a penis. That may freak me out worse than knowing beforehand. I don't know.
But you know what? That should be something that's consensual beforehand. Like, I know transgender people don't want to have to disclose that information. I kind of understand why, because I see like so much confusion about transgender and the procedure and the process and whatnot. Like, there's lots of confusion about it, and like, at what point is he actually now a she and whatnot? Like, I'll tell you now, like, if I'm going to go to a female bathroom, and if a transgender person comes in, penis or not, if that's where they decide to pee, fine, you're a woman. You know, I've got no issue with peeing beside you. Everyone's got to pee, go right ahead. But, I mean, we do have people that come in, and, you know, the guy may just put on a wig and, like, pretend to be a transgender person. Well, that motherfucker deserves his ass beaten. Like, because that just puts the taint on all transgender people. Like, should we be scared of them and whatnot? Like, absolutely not. You should not be scared of them. Most of these people are just trying to live their lives, you know, be accepted for who they are, be called the proper pronoun, stuff like that. Like, I don't see anything wrong with wanting a certain level of respect. People should be given a certain level of respect, regardless of man, woman, transgender, black, white, this, that. You can name them all. Like, there's a certain level of respect that comes with humanity.
Well, see, that's going to be where I really wanted to ask our guests that we unfortunately didn't get. Is there's one question that's really bothered me about transgenderism, okay? And I'll ask you guys because I'll get your guys' opinion. I would love to have had it with a transgender person because, you know, we're cisgendered, straight, whatever. You know, we won't really have the answer, but it's something that really bothers me. You talked about equality and human respect and decency, and I absolutely agree. You know, I do. Transgender people are no less human than straight or homosexual or whatever else in between. Okay, so we're not talking about their rights as human beings. But when you talk about the equality of transgenders to be equal to cisgenders or gay or lesbian or whatever the case may be, I have a problem with this. And it's not because I have a problem with them being equal to. But the fact of the matter is, it seems like that movement, that particular movement, wants to be equal but special. Now, I'll explain why. I'm born male. But I feel I should have always been a woman, so I become a transgender person, and my goal is to become a woman, to be perceived as a woman, to be treated as a woman, to act like a woman, to dress like a woman, to look like a woman. I'm now a woman. So what's the need for the word trans? Like with the bathroom thing, we could argue this point till we're blue in the face, but you know what? If trans women would just turn around and say, I'm a woman, and that's all they say, not I'm a trans woman, just I'm a woman, nobody would have batted an eye while she walks into the bathroom. Not one person would have batted an eye. But because you had to throw that first word in there and make sure that everybody knows that you're trans, now you brought attention to yourself and ruined the equality that you could have been given had you just turned around and acted that you were the gender that you identify with and be done with it.
Well, what if they walk into a bathroom now, let's say, and, okay, like, I'm in a woman's bathroom, and this woman walks in. And, you know, you don't even see in the stall that if she's still got a penis or something. You don't see that. But, I mean, you may end up, like, coming across things that may be like a little shocking. So maybe it's like the shock value that they try to like take away. Be like, look, I'm a trans woman. I may be a little bit different than you. Here's a heads up, so don't freak out, don't lose your shit, but deal with it.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, again, to me, it's more about like an attention to it. The negativities that they gain from their transition is because they constantly want to tell us that they're transitioning.
But that's
why?
Like
just be who you want to identify as and move on in life, and nobody needs to know any the wiser, except for maybe the person you're intimate with in your personal life.
But I mean, like, that's probably an everyday struggle to be like, you know, like a lot of people going through transitions, like they lose family members, they lose friends, they lose a lot of that stuff. So you know what, like, let's just get it off the table right here, right now. I'm trans. Okay, well, no more shock, you know, like if I think it's given the opportunity to be like, well, I don't like that. and leave, or be like, well, that's cool. Which, at this point, like, when they've lost so much in their lives, I don't think they have to deserve going through unexpected expectations later on and being like, oh my God, well, you used to be this way? Well, I can't look at you the same. Well, do you really want to hang out with people like that, where you always have to be worried that at any moment they're going to drop you because of how you once were, or something like that? Yeah, it's probably bothering them deep down, like, every single fucking day.
That's kind of my point. What you're saying, I absolutely agree with, and that's kind of my point of what I was trying to say, or at least for my mentality. And I would like to clarify again. I have no problems with transgender people. If that is your lifestyle and who you are, power to you, brother and sister. I've got no problem with that whatsoever. My question is just simply the term transgender. Instead of just being a trans woman and trans man, just be man or woman. And the reason being, like Venus was just saying, you've already went through rough patches because family members didn't accept what was going on. Friends didn't accept what was going on. Jaded lovers may not have accepted what's going on. And that absolutely sucks. But now you're dealing with the rest of society in one way, shape, or another, either over pandering to you because, they treat you like you're the special child, or you got people who are so transphobic or hateful because of the fact that you're standing out there as you are. We're not talking about gay or straight. We're not talking about like the movement where people were bashed for being gay. They couldn't hide the fact that they were gay. I'm not saying that you should hide, but what I'm saying is that if your goal is to be a woman, just be a woman. If your goal is to be a man, just be a man. The rest of the world doesn't need to know. And then life would be pretty much easier to you. That's my question. Is it a bad thing to put the word trans on what it is they are doing? If that makes any sense at all to you guys. It's a legitimate question. I'm not trying to say that, what I'm thinking is right. I'm not saying that at all. My thought process could be completely off and wrong, and I'm willing to accept that.
Well, no, trying to save the drama for everyone, because it does cause potential problems. But it like, for some other people, it just gets over that fact real quick. It's like, look, this is me, accept it, don't, send it over. Or, it could be like a huge secret. Like, can you imagine having to keep a secret from someone that becomes your friend later on in life? And it's like, look, I've been dying for years to tell you this. Like, people shouldn't have to go through that either. Like, you shouldn't have to keep things from your friends. There's nothing you should have to keep from people that you trust and that you love. But I mean, right when you meet someone, sure, yeah, maybe that's something that you need to make sure that they're comfortable with in order to have a relationship with.
You've been awfully quiet, Sporatiq. What about you? How do you stand on the question I asked?
I think both of your opinions are pretty valid on this subject. But I don't see a lot of flaws in it. I think this is just a very rough topic to talk about still, even though it shouldn't be. But just let people be who they are, and that's all I gotta say about it. Unless that they're like identifying as the 6 millionth gender for attention.
Exactly.
Yeah, you never.
It shouldn't be about attention. It just shouldn't be about attention. That's pretty much my opinion on it.
Okay, so this is interesting. So getting past this now. So being a woman, we have a lot of expectations from other women about how women should be and what they should do and how they should act. Being not a feminist woman. From my point of view, women should act in a certain way. Women should act accordingly. Like, not the soft little feminine flower. We could be badass bitches if we want. But we've got, like, this certain femininity to us that I think a real woman should carry. A lot of feminists, on the other hand, have a totally different point of view of how women should act. Women should be strong, independent, make our demands known, this, that. A lot of things that I find quite outrageous. So how do you guys think a woman should act as a real woman?
Strong, independent, take no shit, need no man. But still, look, it's a cliche statement, but quite honestly, a real woman is a lady in the streets and a freak in the sheets. Okay? No nonsense, can do anything a man could do, but at the same time, she could be vulnerable. She could be emotional. She could be loving and nurturing, and those not be weaknesses.
No, exactly. I think that's what it takes to make a strong female, is things like that. Because, like, we need to express our feelings as women. Like, we definitely need to do that. But we need to do it in a healthy way. So we need to have, like, self-control over our, not over our emotions, but in the way that we act them out. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with, like, standing there and being like, and just yelling and letting it all out. What I do find not very ladylike, or what a real woman should do, is play the victim card all the time.
Oh, you mean the absolute bullshit gender wage gap?
Oh, and you owe me everything. Bow down to my needs and wants, even though I won't discuss them with you. I think that's really sending out the wrong image to even younger women who are going to grow up one day, or say their daughters, or their younger sisters, or their nieces. They're setting a terrible role model example. And these women should have, it's a woman thing that you should have somewhat of a maternal instinct. You should be taking care of, like, women. You've got that motherly thing about you. I think that is something that makes a real woman. Not this, fuck him, and we're going to do this to him, and blame everything on him, and poor me, blah, 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 blah. No, sometimes you just got to put in your back pocket and be like, look, this little girl's looking.
Can we address something that women use all the time for victimhood?
What's that?
Women spend, a lot of women, not all women, but a lot of women, spend hours upon hours in the gym. Working out, getting toned, getting fit. They want the skinny ass, they want the fucking perky boobs, the flat stomach. And then once they achieve that, they'll put on the tightest clothes, the lowest cut shirts, the tightest pants they could find with G-string underwear or less. Walk down the street like their shit don't stink, but then they want to play the victim card because men are looking. Look, if you're
when they wanted that attention,
that's kind of what I want to address. I'm not saying that a man has any right to disrespect you. I'm not saying that a man has any right to touch you. They don't. But to turn around and bitch that a man is checking out your ass or your rack when you're dressed like that, you wanted that fucking attention. Quit victimizing him, or not victimizing him. Quit demonizing him and playing the victim. You chose to do that. Again, it goes back to our conversation earlier about consequences for your actions. Nobody's telling you how to dress, but if you don't want that type of behavior from people, or you don't want that type of attention, don't dress in a way that attracts it.
Here's a big catch-22. A friend of a friend, we were having this conversation about how men are disgusting pigs. If a woman is out in public, not wearing a bra, and she's wearing a tight shirt and her nipples are showing, men have absolutely no right to stare at her and make her feel uncomfortable. But now I'm hearing from this woman that it is perfectly fine for her to stare at a woman's chest because she likes and appreciates her nipples. And I'm like, well, you know what? I don't appreciate that. I'm a straight female, and you're making me feel uncomfortable now.
There are feminists now who claim that if a male looks at them the wrong way, it's rape, but they could walk up and grab his junk.
They can make other women feel uncomfortable. Not every woman is into woman. women or into you. The same that you feel about men. Why does it change that? Oh, I'm like different. I can wear whatever I want. Men can't look. I'm not allowed to feel uncomfortable by men, but I can make other women feel uncomfortable.
It's absolutely ridiculous. It's mind-boggling, quite honestly, because most locker rooms. Let's look at locker rooms for a minute, okay? For the sake of argument, and I know Sporatiq, you can talk about this being in high school. I know you'll understand where I'm coming from with this. Women can be butt naked with each other in the locker room, whether they're straight, gay, whatever. They could stand right next to each other, bullshitting, even point out like how nice certain parts of their body are to others. There's no touching, there's no sexuality, anything like that. Just simple. Oh, your ass looks nice today. Oh, well, thank you. I really like your nipple ring. You guys could do that to each other, and it's completely normal. Guys in the locker room.
Yeah, I don't find that's normal.
Guys in the locker room, butt-ass naked, we avoid each other like the fucking plague. You ever want to see hard stares into other people's eyes? Stand into a naked man's locker room. We are trying so hard to not look at anything. And we are keeping as much distance from gay or straight, trying to keep as much distance from each other as possible because it's such an uncomfortable scenario. Am I wrong in this, Sporatiq? Or has it changed since I've been in school?
No. I haven't been in the locker room yet, but I've heard stories. There is not showers. I think there's 2 showers or 3 showers in there, but they're not really used at school. They're usually used by the teams that come by, like the basketball teams, football teams that are actually going into the city's leagues. That's what they're used by. But if you're just going to school trying to do your gym classes, you're not going to be using the showers. For gym, you probably just strip down to your underwear. You won't take off that further point of exposure. Probably just go strip down underwear and put on your regular outfit. We use uniforms, so your uniform, put that on, and then leave, or your deodorant and stuff. Yeah, but most guys aren't trying to look at each other and be like, "Oh, I like your abs today, man." They're trying to just avoid. That's what it used to be like
when I was in high school, but public pools are different. What about in public pools? The change rooms there.
Same scenario. Like, okay, a public pool or even the beach where you have showers where there's no dividers or anything of that nature, right? A man will automatically go 2 shower heads over from another man. They will leave 2 shower spots open to have that much distance from the next naked guy. Women are comfortable being right next to each other.
But at some point, yeah, I think we'll go in the shower next to the other woman because we're automatically going to assume that the water's on in her shower, so the shower next to her must be hot too. and that's like my mentality when I go into places like that. And it won't be super uncomfortable. I'm still straight, so I mean, but if a woman hits on me, it makes me slightly uncomfortable. I mean, I could take a joke or something, but when it's hardcore, something that I wouldn't even tolerate from the man, no, I'm not tolerating this from a woman either. But we could be in the shower beside each other and just la 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 la, and oh my god, your shampoo smells nice. Oh, you want to try it? Shit like that. And we don't it's uncomfortable for everyone to kind of be naked around each other, but we kind of just make the best out of it. We've all got boobs, we've all got vaginas, for the most part. We've all got bums, we've all got stretch marks. We're all uncomfortable in our own bodies to begin with. So I mean, if we're gonna put us all together, it's just whatever.
Well, see, that's where I was going with it.
As well.
That's where I was going with it. Your uncomfortabilities with your own selves make it more acceptable for you guys to be around each other. We men become so fucking insecure, not only of ourselves, but of even remotely being possibly razzed for being gay, for the sake of argument. If you're a straight male and you accidentally look at the guy next to you's dick, just by turning around. All of a sudden now you're gay. And, like, that's horror-filled for guys. It's stupid. It's stupid insecurity. I'm not going to paint it any other way. It is stupid insecurity, but that's the way men are. I mean, like I said, even gay guys, for fear of, like, offending a straight guy, will not look at another man naked, even though that's what they're attracted to, in a gym locker room. You know what I mean? They're not going to turn...
Like, men seem to have more respect when it comes to that. Like, we don't want to, like, you think like you guys don't want to purposely make each other uncomfortable. Like, you guys have respect for each other. Women just have low self-esteem when it comes to our bodies. You could have the most perfect looking female ever, and you know what? She's still gonna have things that she's uncomfortable about with her body. So, I mean, it's not nice to, like, point them out or whatever. But you know what? We look over and we see some woman's boobs, and it's like, oh, you know, big flappy boobies, whatever. Move on, you know, turn around, do our thing. Like, we don't make it a point to go look at each other for the most part, but it's there. I mean, you're going to be close to naked women, you know? You just do your thing and try not to bump arms pretty much. But if there's some woman just staring at everyone in the women's locker room, nobody's going to fucking appreciate that shit either. Like, at all. You know, you might look and you might take a glance and be like, oh, cool. Turn your fucking head away after. Like, it happens. But you get the creepers that will just sit there and just stare at everyone. Like, get the fuck out of here, you weirdo. Like, nobody needs that shit. Does that happen to men's change rooms too? Like, that you have the one weirdo who will sit there and, like, look at everyone, making everyone in the room uncomfortable?
I went to a gym when I was still a pro wrestler. I went to a workout gym, and, of course, I used their public facility to shower and get changed when I was done working out. And I'm standing by the locker where my stuff is, and I'm, you know, on disrobing and getting ready to put on underwear and, you know, stuff of that nature. And there's always, again, I don't know if it's like this in high school. I don't remember it being this way in high school, but it might have been. But, you know, in your average gym, there's always some creepy old dude who's sitting there, balls flopping to the wind on the bench, wanting to have a full-on conversation with you. Butt ass, he's completely comfortable sitting there that way. You know, legs spread, just letting it fly with the breeze, and you're just sitting there like, dude, seriously, at least put your towel back on. Okay.
Don't sit on that bench butt naked. Don't do that.
I mean, there's those type of creepers, but, you know, to be fair, in a men's locker room, if somebody's just standing there fucking, like, in the corner oogling, somebody's going to knock him the fuck out.
Yeah, see, that's something that will, like, well, no, like, not every time that you're in a woman's change room that will happen, but that's something that does happen. And, like, women don't realize, like, you're making other women uncomfortable. Even, like, a lesbian woman, she still doesn't, just because she's into women does not mean she's into you. And there you are staring at her and staring her down. Like, what? Because you're entitled to? Because you're a woman? No, you don't. You still might get knocked the fuck out. I mean, I haven't seen it, but I anticipate it happening one day. I'm not going to lie.
Well, remember that one girl, it was a couple years ago, it was an actress who went to a public gym, and she took a selfie picture in the shower / locker room, body shaming that elderly woman, and basically took a picture of her butt ass naked in the shower, but was shaming her because she was fat and her boobs were, you know, floppy or whatever else. Remember that shit? I don't remember who the actress was, but, like, she deservedly got pretty much ostracized and had to publicly apologize. She lost her job. She lost pretty much everything. Again, deservingly. Who the fuck are you to judge anybody, male or female? Who the fuck am I? Who the fuck is Venus? Who the fuck is Sporatiq? Who the fuck is anybody to judge anybody on anything?
Exactly.
And then to shame them on top of it. That person did not ask for their picture to be taken, dressed or naked, and plastered all over social media. Who gave her that right? Wrong.
That's not a right. That's actually quite illegal to do. But women have this sense of entitlement. Like, we could walk anywhere, we could do anything. Like, I don't understand how women could say, oh, if I'm in a room full of men, I'm uncomfortable. Well, honey, you're obviously in the wrong fucking room then, first off. And if you can't have a conversation with like gentlemen or men, like you're the problem.
Well, that's exactly what I was about to say. Well, first off, it depends on the group of men you're in a room with.
Like if you're gonna go to like say a gentleman's club and like you're in a room full of men. Well, you know what? Strippers do it every day. They don't have a problem with it. And you know what? They're naked half the time. And you make it seem like they're going to be victimized. They have no problem with this. They don't get assaulted. They don't get overly harassed. Why would you do that when you're just some like, mediocre looking woman who's dressed so like not tits out, but nipples out or anything? You shouldn't be walking into this room and expecting that the worst is going to happen. Like most men in this world have a level of respect for other people, like even in a changing room, as we all heard.
Look, I'm not saying disrespect doesn't happen. I'm not saying that rape doesn't happen. It's an unfortunate reality in this world. Okay, and it's terrible. It's horrible. I wish it would go away. The same way as like the other night when we were talking about racism, and I wish it was completely gone. But unfortunately, it is an ugly reality of this world. But just like racism, the levels of disrespect and the levels of sexual assault that happen on a daily basis to women are minute to the numbers of women of this world. Okay, and the levels of men. Majority of men are not skeeving, fucking sexually deprived deviants. Majority of women of this world are not getting oogled or harassed or, God forbid, raped. Let's be real about statistics here. It happens. Once is too many. But it's not this epidemic that they try to make it to be.
Like, I'm a woman. I've been harassed by men. I haven't been assaulted by men. I've had like my fair share of dealings with men being inappropriate. Now, let me just point this out, and I'll tell you 100% of the fucking time, when one man steps out of line and acts disrespectful and acts like a fucking pig or something, there will be 10 men to knock his fucking ass out. Every fucking time.
Facts.
It's true. But now you get women that will sit there and make a big deal or something. Like, say you're at a bar and a guy comes along and you're ignoring him or something. Even his buddies will come up, like if he's there with his friends, even at a certain point, they'll come up at a certain point and be like, buddy, back the fuck off. Like 10 of them compared to one of them. So women are really demonizing men because of that one person out of we'll say 10% of men, because of 10% of men, when really it's men that will save you from this one man, because that's what masculinity is and whatnot. I forgot your name. Sporatiq. What do you think about chivalry and all that, and women's reactions to men's behavior?
Well, like you said earlier, you said for every man that is a pig to a woman, there will be 10 to knock them down. Yeah, I feel like that's really true, especially in our society, especially when the men that are willing to stand up for the women are also demonized, because the women think that they are strong, independent women that don't need no man to help them, but they are also crying and screaming for help for a man to help them, which makes no sense. They want the help, but they don't need the help, in quotation marks.
Well, see, let me go further. Again, I know you're in high school and you're just now starting in life to really kind of, I don't want to say delve into, but starting to see this type of behavior happen in this world. Have you had experience in that? Have you, to set an example, have you seen a girl at the mall or wherever you hang out? You thought she was kind of cute. You check her out. You want to go over and talk to her, and she acts like you just fucking raped her mother. You didn't creep in any way, but she treats you like you're Charles Manson.
I'd say, yeah. But not like, as you put it, but along those lines, yes.
Right. I know I was kind of like,
Yeah.
really, really painting
That's
a
kinda-
broad stroke, but yeah. The-
Yeah.
the-
Yeah,
the-
I could
yeah.
see Sporatiq as a guy who's like, dude, lay the fuck off, like, and like honestly, like swoop in or like save this woman, or like not even have expectations in return. Like he's pretty well. You've got quite gentleman mannerisms and stuff. Like
Yeah, but
How often
I've
did
learned that, like, along those lines from, like, you guys, I've learned how to be there for a woman and how to be there for other people from you guys. So
well, here's
you'll
how
see
we
those influences in your life,
Well,
like
see-
we said a long time ago.
see. There's
exactly.
there's a Facebook meme that is perfect because it's a meme, and it's a saying, but it's the God's honest truth, and it kind of brings this podcast full circle here. To what we were talking about earlier about, like, it starts in the home. It starts with the family. There's a meme out there that I absolutely agree with 120%. It's mostly targeted towards, like, fathers and their children. But be the man you want to be the man you want your daughter to marry, and be the man you want your son to be. They learn from you. And it's the same thing with mothers. Mothers, be the woman you want your daughter to become, and be the woman that you want your son to marry. In other words, be the fucking example.
Yep, exactly.
The plain and simple fact is, if I want my daughter to have high expectations from a guy and have those expectations met, I have to teach her what those expectations are in a guy by being that person, and vice versa with my son. If I want him to be a person who treats women with respect and as equals and always puts their needs above his own like a gentleman should, there's only one way I could teach him that, and that's by living that action. So it starts in the home.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but I think at that note, I'm gonna have to let you guys go because I have school tomorrow morning.
Oh,
I gotta be up
absolutely.
pretty early.
Yeah, I was just about to wrap up the show, actually. Because you do have school. So Sporatiq, thanks for joining us, and you will. I think you're going to join us again next week, right, for the sex ed curriculum in schools as a topic, right?
Yeah, that's what we discussed. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well, you have a great night, and happy birthday.
Happy
Thank
birthday,
you.
brother. It was good
Birthday.
talking with you.
All right, and I'll message you tomorrow.
What?
I said I'll message you tomorrow.
All right.
All right, you have a good one.
All right. You guys too.
Nice
Okay,
meeting you, Meg.
bye.
Happy birthday. All right, and I guess you want to wrap this up?
Oh, well, we can continue a bit more.
Okay.
I've pretty much said all I've got to say now. Like, gentlemen are supposed to have certain mannerisms. I think a real woman has certain mannerisms as well. Doesn't matter what your, like, biological or physical state. If you're going to be a woman, like, be a woman. And I'm kind of proud of, like, the transgender women who are coming out as transgender women, because they've got more of the feminine qualities that feminists seem to be lacking, like, on a female level. Like, they're playing the manly part. They're acting like men. Even as Sporatiq said, like, girls in school are now acting more boyish and, doing that kind of stuff. So when a woman wants to be a woman, like, hallelujah, I accept you. Thank fuck about time, someone's acting like that, more feminine, with more femininity. And, like, it might even change, like, society as society is right now, like, with the pressure on men and women, because we have more people wanting to actually be women instead of having disgrace towards being a woman.
I can get behind that. I can agree with that. I think my closing statement to everything here, because I know I'm kind of the demon in this one right now. I guess my closing statement will be more of a disclaimer. The conversations we had tonight were in no way, shape, or form intended to be an attack. Okay, they are simply expressions of opinions and points of view, and their purpose not only to educate in things that maybe you did not know, okay, but it's also talking points. We want people to discuss. We want open dialogues and ideas and points of view. I would love to have a chat with you guys on YouTube, putting comments in, expressing what you thought or feel, or maybe answering my questions. Of course, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate. Of course, I know I'm going to get trolls and everything else. I will be honest with you. I'm going to ignore those fucking people. But the ones that...
You know what? They're more invited to actually join us on this show. If you've got a problem with anything that was said, if you've got a strong opinion about something, for this part of, this show that had to be said with Venus, you are more than welcome to join the show.
Oh, absolutely. I'll have an open debate with you. I have no problem with that. You know, I will keep it civil, like I did with this conversation. Even when I don't agree with certain ideas, I still keep it civil because of the fact that we're having a discussion. I'm learning something. Maybe I find out I'm wrong about something, and I'm open to that. I'm cool with that. And maybe you're wrong about something, and I educate you. The point of the matter the point of the matter is simply this. What I have said is my point of view and my point of view only. My questions were my questions only. And in no way, shape, or form do they reflect or intend to inflict hatred or disapproval of anybody in any form of their lifestyles. I have no problems with anybody. I don't care if you're gay or straight, black, white, Asian, Hispanic, male, female, transgender, tow truck, airplane. I do not care. If you are a decent human being who has decent morals and values and treats me with respect, you can expect the exact same back from me. That is the God's honest truth. I am not trying to rabble-rouse. I am trying to have a dialogue.
And to be honest, and for the record, I've reached out to multiple people with different viewpoints, different opinions, different, I've reached out to transgender people, feminist women, mothers, everything to join this podcast tonight, and not a single one actually wanted to be on it. So that's for the record there also. Christopher also reached out to some of his friends with different backgrounds and viewpoints and stuff. Not a single person joined us on this show tonight. So we actually tried to reach out to other people to have a more open discussion. So before anyone loses their shit about that, we tried. So if at any point anybody wants to be here, by all means, send us a message. Send us a message on comments on YouTube. You can find me on Facebook, Venus Chan or Solar Nova. You can find me on Instagram as Venus Uncensored. And Christopher can be found too. There's ways to communicate with us, and you're more than welcome to join us at any point for any show.
You can find me on any of the Realm of the Mist podcasts. You can find me on Realm of the Mist entertainment.com, our official website, which is under construction, but there will be a chat board to it. There will be a link to the email address, so you guys can message me or any one of us through that way. And of course, there's going to be links at the bottom of this video for you guys to get in contact with us or to check out any of our other shows and the platforms that we're on. So, guys, there's no excuse. If you want to have a chat and a dialogue and an exchange of ideas, not only do we welcome it, we will bring you on the show to do it.
Absolutely. No questions about it.
So, there's no need for hate. We can discuss ideas and have opposing views without hatred.
No, I fully appreciate it as well. But, I mean, if nobody wants to talk, nobody wants to talk, right? So
Exactly. You can't force anybody.
So here we are left having these, you could call them more one-sided discussions. Yeah, sure, they may be. But I hope to have a guest on the show, every week to address different topics. Which, I mean, out of everyone that I got a hold of, a few of them bailed on me last minute. a few of them just didn't respond to me today, and one of them couldn't make it. So there was quite a few people. So it's not our fault.
we wanted to have more diverse ideas and opinions to really have a dialogue with. Unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe there'll be a part 2 to this conversation. It may happen in the future. Hell,
There's so much go on, right?
It may be you listening that fills that spot.
Oh yeah, we're pretty open to anything. Well, not we're desperate, but we're pretty open to other people's opinions and views and whatnot. And like we really tried to get a lot of different people's opinions and views, but here we are.
Yeah, we're not the government. We're not the media. We're a independent podcast company. We will give you, if you want a voice, we'll give you a voice.
Definitely. Don't be shy, because we're definitely not.
Yeah, exactly.
Talked about everything from penis to, oh my god, this first show was about penis. So I mean,
yeah, the first it had to be said with Venus was about penis. This one went a lot of different directions.
Yeah, well, it had to be said. I mean, everything from, well, we did reach the 3 goals of internet safety for parents, shitty people, shitty behavior, and what it takes to be a real woman. So, yeah, we can still articulate on these later on. No problem.
Exactly. But all right, guys, we thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this video and this podcast. If you did in any capacity, hit that thumbs up button. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Check out the other great videos from Realm of the Mist Entertainment. And, of course, show us love on Anchor FM or where quality podcasts are found, like iTunes, Spotify. Just look up Realm of the Mist Entertainment. You'll find It Had to Be Said, War of the Stars, Realm of the Mist podcast, and of course After Hours, our comedy show, which is a lot more lighthearted than some of the topics we'd like to talk about on the other shows. And guys, very, very much, if you like what's going on Anchor FM, you could hit that support icon. You could pitch $1, you could pitch $5, you could pitch $100. It's up to you, but any little bit helps us provide the best quality of entertainment and information that we could possibly provide to you. Without you, there is no us.
Yes, and we all need new microphones. So. All right, have a good night, everybody.
You have a good one.